Anything Coast to Coast. I'm Brett. This is AJ.
We're two college friends that live on opposite sides of the country and decided to start a podcast like everybody else, right? So we're
Two
just
white
chatting about
guys
our,
doing
yep,
things.
chatting about our interests and hobbies, movies, to sports, TVs, music shows, anything and everything.
Yep, and this week we'll do a little bit more of the usual. We're still on our challenge grind, so we got to go over what's going on there. AJ's been in the big home purchasing process. I've gone through that, so we'll touch some notes there. Movies that we've more movie stuff as we just love our movies, and of course it's Thanksgiving, so we'll talk a little bit about some
Yeah.
Thanksgiving things. But to start off, let's see what's going on with each other. So, what's anything new over there besides the buying of the housey house?
Yeah. I mean, our so I also coach high school hockey, obviously, as you know. So that season just kicked off this week. We have practices every day this week, except for obviously tomorrow, because it's Thanksgiving. Um, but yeah, it's full on hockey season for me. Um, I pretty much won't be home almost every night this week and most of next week. So pretty busy.
Is that just practices or games?
Mostly practices. You have to get like six practices or something like that in before you can play a game. It's like a state rule.
So, are they
So
just doing suicides the whole time, or
no, we pretty much do tryouts for the first practice or two. We don't really cut anybody just because you don't really have the numbers as much. You know, we have 30 kids, so we'll have a varsity team and a JV team. But yeah, I mean it's solid practices. You have a lot of kids that have returned, from the future, from the past years. A couple of freshmen, stuff like that. So just more evaluating them, seeing how they play and stuff like that, and then kind of going from there. So
well, that's good. So,
uh,
no Joker style cuts where you're splitting a hockey stick in half and saying there's one spot left on the JV team. Who wants it?
no, no.
Oh,
Pretty much like uh, around here at least, you don't get a lot of hockey's not obviously as big of a sport in the sense that like you don't get as many kids um, that play just town wise, and if you do, you have your varsity and JV teams. You don't really cut anybody. So, um, yeah, yeah, just figuring out the rest of our little squad, and we have our first scrimmage next week. So like that's why we're kind of have all these practices lined up, for the rest of this week, just so these kids get their six practices in before they can actually play like a scrimmage or a game kind of thing.
that's fair.
So it'll be good. Just it's a nice. It'll be nice for tomorrow to relax and not worry about hockey, and then kind of get back into it again on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Getting
What about you?
it's snowing again. Not a whole lot,
Yeah.
but it snowed. It's gonna be gone. Went and picked up my new skis today. I like them. They're real cool. I want to go
Yeah.
so badly again, but it's just we're not quite there yet. Got to wait a little longer. I went to a music festival in Phoenix the past weekend. That was fun. Got to hang out with Travis and Dave. We had a good time. Got to see my
Nice.
buddy
Nice.
Spencer, so we got to do fun Spencer activities. Been my homie for about 10 years now, so we were backstage with him. We almost met Carl Cox, who's a British house legend, and
Okay.
Spencer was in his green room hanging out, showing each other music, and he comes back into his room and we're still in there. And I was like, "Any chance we could go in there with you?" And he said,
And meet
"No,
him.
absolutely not." And I was like, "Oh man." But it's fun. He got us some VIP tickets, which was nice. So we got to not be in the crowded music festival. It was a lot of fun. Met some
Nice.
cool
That's
people.
pretty good.
It'll be good the next time. But for now, let's get down to it. So
Yeah.
the challenge where we left off, well, that was 2 weeks ago. We've been complaining about the disliking of the eliminations. This
Yes.
past week, uh, it got turned because now when you're losing or when you win the weekly challenge, you then get to pick basically who goes into elimination. And if you win that weekly challenge, you then cannot be picked afterwards, which got found out the hard way because Bananas loses his mind most of this episode. He was real upset that he got picked to be a target and was hoping to pick Tori, and it backfired.
Yeah, I don't get how he didn't see that that could be a possibility that he could not choose her or the winner, the winners kind of thing. That surprised me that he just wouldn't have thought of that to begin with, but uh, it is what it is. I
Yeah,
was I was kind of
I was
surprised.
I didn't think I thought didn't think Tori was going to be safe. I thought he was going to be able to pick Tori right back.
I think for as long as you've played that game, like you always have to expect that the winner of the previous round or whatever might not get chosen. They've had to have done that before. So just for him to not even think about that being something that could happen was kind of surprising to me because
I
I
mean,
feel
when you
like
do put it that way, he's probably done the most seasons out of anyone
yeah.
on the show. So
So I just him not having like a backup plan because I feel like he kind of lashed out obviously right against Naya against Michelle against Olivia
oh, I forgot about that for a second.
and just totally just wasn't thinking and then was just in a rage because he couldn't pick Tori.
Well, say more
So he
about
just
what he did because I forgot about that for a second. He loses
yeah
the elimination, which once again, dumb elimination. They rode
yeah
mini quad bikes around a circle, almost like something you would drop your kid off to do at the county
it
fair.
was yeah it was a state fair game pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much. And then we'll explain his meltdown preceding winning that.
Yeah, so after TJ said he couldn't pick Tori, right, he goes on a rampage, calls Olivia Devin's pet snake, which I didn't get that reference per se.
He was just shooting from
Except,
the hip. Just
yeah, yeah, which so that kind of like shows right there, right, that he wasn't really expecting anything. He didn't have like a plan. So he called Olivia that. He called Naya. I forget what he called Naya. If it was anything like crazy or you know, um, kind of like rude.
oh,
But
the
then he
big
called
compliment, the
Michelle.
pet snake one. Well, Michelle wasn't. I forget what he said to Michelle exactly.
No, Michelle. He called Devin's next ex or something like that.
Mm, that
Which
was
that's
right.
that's a low blow. Out of all of them, obviously that's the low blow. The one that, especially because she was supposed to be his friend, or they kind of show it like she's, they have a pretty good friendship or whatever. So that seemed like just way to like either ruin a friendship or like just ruin your potential game because obviously whoever wins that elimination, right, is just going to throw him right back in, which is what they ended up doing in the long run, right? After the next elimination, he was thrown back in
Hold on to the
to
fact
be
that Michelle was the one who he made fun of, and then we finally get to the challenge of that week, and the challenge was basically an obstacle course. It didn't look like
yeah
anything too intense, but there was a number of contestants who could not get up the rope ladder, basically the cargo net
yeah
to start off, and two of them did not make it up the cargo net. It was like cargo net, mini rock wall, a ladder,
yeah
some form of high platforms, a mini
little
puzzle,
puzzle.
and then just a zip line. It's not super intensive, but
No,
the rope cargo net proved difficult to a couple, and that was Michelle and Naya, and they did
yeah
not make it up said cargo net. So they were the two who then they
yeah
had the lowest. Or Michelle was the lowest. I don't think she made it. No, Naya was the lowest. Michelle
yeah
ends
she
up
was.
getting voted in at the end of this, and they go and do another bad elimination, Michelle and Naya. And this one was there was a lock basically put between a bunch of boxes, and to undo the locks, you had to do a math problem. They're both
Hmm.
terrible at math. Naya couldn't get the first math problem done.
Yeah, so I didn't think this one I was obviously as bad of an elimination challenge than the one that Bananas did. Because that one
Oh,
was just,
quads were dumb. The mini
yes, where they
bikes.
were just very boring. At least this one, right? Like a little bit more. I mean, I'd rather see them go like more head to head than just trying to do math problems and moving boxes. Like that's not as entertaining, obviously. But um, yeah, Naya's strategy, right, apparently was to do all the math problems and then move boxes, whereas Michelle, she did some math problems and then she started moving boxes and then she went back
Well, I think
to
Naya's
basically take a
was to
break.
move some boxes, but her issue was she just was so committed to that first math problem that she would not move on from it, and she was just
No, so
there.
I
With
took it
her.
as I thought I saw that it was she was trying to do all the math problems and she was having difficulties with some of them, so that's what like took her longer. Whereas when Michelle got like frustrated or whatever, she just started moving boxes and then would come back to do a different math problem or like the same one just to give her like minor break.
Yeah, and
But
as we're
anyway,
talking about it, I wish we could be saying it was more exciting than math problems and moving boxes.
yeah, yeah,
Could
pretty much.
not describe it with more gusto than that. So, and then of course Michelle wins and immediately turns around and nominates Bananas again. So
Yep,
Bananas is back up for elimination again this week. So maybe it's what we talked about though. He makes decent television. It's not rational.
he does.
He basically complains about people acting this way all week long, and then as soon as his back's up against the wall, it's exactly how he acts. So
Yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think tonight, right, when we're watching the mid season like mini, right? Mini final. So that'll be interesting to watch and see. I think they said that they were going to be eliminating a couple of competitors off of the
Mhm.
mini, and then I'm assuming we'll have another elimination after. Who knows?
we'll see. I
Um,
mean, pretty much after this one, we'll be pretty aware of who's going to make it to the final, at least for like one or
yeah,
two people.
but it'll be interesting to see, how Bananas does. I forget who else was nominated as a target.
I'd have to go back and check. I don't remember off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
we shall see tonight, and it'll be fresh in our memory, and we won't forget because we have memories like elephants.
sure. Yeah,
Elephants have good memories. I'm not
exactly.
making that up.
No, I didn't say that. I was just saying the good memory thing.
Oh, you've already forgotten that you have a good memory?
No, I'm saying I don't have a good memory.
Oh,
I
well,
have an
okay,
okay
good.
memory.
That's fine. Okay, so this house buying thing, how's it
Yeah,
going? We done?
we are almost done. Sort of, kind of. We went through our inspections on Monday. Also, to note for anybody, probably buying a house, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas this time of year is probably not the greatest thing to do.
You got nothing
We
going on.
are, well, we're trying to close on the 16th. We have a pretty fast closing date. So we secured our mortgage, went through the appraisals, did the home inspection on Monday. Everything went pretty well. So just waiting for a few things to come back, and then we will, I guess, finalize everything else. I don't know really what else we have to do besides like, just some minor things. But
There'll
we're
always
pretty
be
much just,
something. I feel like
yeah. But
you,
we're just picking out like paint colors, what we want to do in like our family room, what we would want to do in the basement, what we do want to do in the master bedroom, all that fun stuff that we won't have money to do once we officially close and do the mortgage and all that fun stuff. So it's exciting and scary and terrifying and all that fun stuff. But
you're having
how was
better luck
the
than we did so far.
well? At least so our house, our future house, or whatever you want to call it, our potential house. I don't even know how you. Or,
Your
uh,
future home.
yes, yeah, there you go. It's an older home, obviously, so we have definitely probably a different experience than you guys because you guys bought a new build where everything was already like nice kind of thing. So I'm curious to see how your guys' situation was compared to ours because like we know going in that there's things that we have to update right away, or like what we'll want to update. We have to see if we'll have the money for it, and if we don't, then we'll just like put it on the back burner and then
Yeah.
like work on a smaller project kind of thing. So
Well, that right away is definitely going to be the biggest difference. Is you guys have to update things. We didn't have to update things, but we got delayed in the buying process because they told us they were going to be
mhm.
done building it by a certain date. And then when we showed up to close, they were like, "Oh, we forgot to file a certain piece of paperwork with the county, so you can't move in yet." Oh, tight. So probably different issues, but see
Yeah,
how they stack up. We got delayed a week and had to delay movers, which wasn't awesome, but that was our biggest hassle.
yeah. I say that's so surprising though that how do you forget to file something with the county
It was
and
the it was like it was the document that like verified that this was going to be like a house and not like an office and that like people were going to be living here.
mhm,
I don't know exact name of the document, but it basically tells the county that this is a residence. They didn't
yeah.
file that piece of paperwork, which was a little frustrating because it's like,
I
yeah, you gotta do that.
yeah, I say I feel like that's like a first thing that you do, whether it's gonna be residential or commercial use. I feel like that would be, maybe one of the first things you do as a new home builder, doing that. But what do I know? I'm not in construction.
Yeah, it's all right. So hopefully you'll get through everything fine and it'll go well. Uh, but as this will be a place that you'll future do this, let's talk about some Thanksgiving things.
Yeah.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Because you got quite the fam out there. Are you getting a get together?
Yeah, so pretty much Thanksgiving, growing up, obviously my family is pretty big. I have three siblings and they have, their families and all that stuff. And we would always go to either my aunt would host, my mom would host, or my grandmother. And we would all go and celebrate together. I have four or five cousins and their families that would, come and join, and we'd have like 30 to 40 people in one house basically celebrating all that stuff. Recently, obviously, being married to my beautiful wife, and since dating her, we've kind of more shifted and done things with her family, so it's a little bit smaller, which is nicer. Um, we go over to her aunt and uncle's, with her grandparents and her mom and stepdad, and kind of just celebrate there. So it's a little bit quieter and nicer, in the sense that, like, that's, you don't have the chaos of, you know 20 people in a kitchen kind of thing trying to do stuff and whatever. Um, so it'll be good. It'll be fun. We'll do. I think they do hors d'oeuvres if I remember correctly. To that, or on Christmas Eve they
Hors
do hors
d'oeuvres.
d'oeuvres.
You got to pronounce it with a. It's almost Jewish.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Hors.
Um, so yeah, it'll be good. And then sometimes, the past few years we've done dessert at my family's house. So we'll see if we'll do it this year. It gets to be a little bit of travel time and stuff like that in between. So we'll see if we make it there or not. But yeah, it'll be good. It'll be exciting to eat some mashed potatoes and turkey and cranberry sauce and all that fun stuff, and watch some football and hang out with family. What about you?
Pretty much the same. It's going to be low key, not as big. My family's all, out on the East Coast, North Carolina, helping out my sister Paige with the kiddos. So I'll meet up with them for Christmas time. But for now, I'm going to be with Sam and her family out here. A lot of vegetarians. Not a lot. Probably like half the family's vegetarian. So I'm in charge of
Really?
the turkey. So
Okay, okay.
turkey's my job.
So have you already prepped the turkey, or are you prepping it tomorrow
No,
in the morning?
So the way I do it is I kind of slow oven roast it. So because of that,
Okay,
prep work is minimal because all the good stuff is going to come from everything that's in there. You really let it roast in the juices. So we'll probably cook it for 4 hours or so. Put it in the roaster at like 340. Keep it pretty low. And then you just got to go around every 20 minutes, soak up all those juices, and put them back on top. It's
Basin.
pretty easy. It's not hard.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to just say that I'm cooking something, and then you can just go sit down on the couch, and then if they're like, "You need anything?" I'm like, I gotta check on that turkey in 20 minutes. If I leave now, bad things could happen.
Do you
So
uh do you do the stuffing in the turkey while you cook it?
no, because they're of the vegetarians, I can't do the stuffing in the turkey.
Oh,
So
you just
we'll
gotta do two different stuffings. So you do
yeah,
this the
I don't
stuffing that's in the turkey, and then you do the stuffing that's, however they make stuffing.
But
I'm not a stuffing person.
most of the stuffing is vegetarian anyways. Like stuffing itself is usually
Yeah,
just like bread, vegetables. It's not a whole lot.
yeah,
Since we're gonna eat the same stuffing, we just don't put it inside the turkey, and everyone's happy.
that's fair. So what's your favorite dish then? If you had
Oh,
to
see,
choose
this
one.
was I gonna. All right, you pick. Should we pick one each, or should we both try to decide what the best dish is? Because I think I have one that I think you might say is the superior part of Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, how about this? We'll do favorite dish, and then we'll rank. Well, let's all right. Let's do what we think is the best dish, and then we'll say our favorites.
Okay, mine's not necessarily a dish, but just the best part of Thanksgiving is I always make sure I get myself one of those turkey legs. I'm getting one of the turkey legs and
Turkey leg man.
putting it
Okay.
in gravy. I'm only eating like a good fresh turkey leg once a year, and it's on Thanksgiving, and I want it to be as dark
All
and as
right.
juicy as possible. No white meat for me on Thanksgiving. I want the flavor. Give it all to me.
Okay. Okay. See, I feel like and we didn't do this, which I wanted to do when we
I
were in
know.
Disney. I
That's
wanted
why
to
I
get
thought
a
I was gonna get you on this one.
yeah, I wanted to get a turkey leg, but we never did. Um, yeah. See, my favorite dish is I like the green beans, green bean casserole. Get a little like mushroom type gravy in the green beans with the little fried onions. Oh,
Okay, if you
that's
didn't
the
put the
best for
fried
me.
onions on top, I was gonna veto it. I'd be like, the fried onions is mandatory for the
Oh,
green bean
100%.
casserole. Okay, good.
100%. Yes, that's my favorite dish because it is savory. I mean, turkey's great, right? But
Oh, dude.
it's a little overrated, I think, at times.
Well, that's why you gotta
Mashed
get the.
potatoes.
You just gotta go all the way straight to the turkey leg. I want the best part of the turkey.
Mm,
Give me the juiciest part, and we're just going from there.
nah, the sides are what makes Thanksgiving for sure. And for
Well,
me,
the
it's
next
it's
day
it's
sandwiches and the leftover sandwiches.
yes,
That's
this is true.
clutch.
So the question is, how do you do that though?
The
How do you make
sandwich.
your sandwich? Yeah.
Well, as a Friends fan growing up, I like to try to make the moist maker from Friends, which is
Okay.
basically it's basically like a three layers sandwich. So you're gonna want three layers of bread, and you're just mixing in all your favorite stuff in between. You got to have some turkey on some layers, got to have mashed potatoes on some layers, stuffing on some layers. Keep that extra piece of bread in there to kind of keep it together, and then
Okay.
just
Okay.
gravy on the top. It's almost a sandwich you can't eat with your hands. You got to cut it.
This is. I mean, that is very true. Do you do white bread?
I'm not picky about it. Whatever's there.
See, I am not normally a white bread person. Yeah, I do like the whole wheat or whatever. But for Thanksgiving leftovers, you have to do white bread. Or fat guy pro tip, you take the dinner rolls and you make that like little mini sandwiches from the dinner rolls.
That
That's the
feels
way to
so
go.
large. That's large.
Yeah, but it's the best. You get the it's like a like the Hawaiian sweet bread roll, right? You get that. Do a little layer of the canned cranberry, little gravy, little turkey, little mashed potatoes. I don't put the green bean casserole on that because that'd be too much. But yeah, you get the green bean casserole on the
Well,
side.
casserole
Oof.
casserole doesn't make the sandwich itself. I think as far as you can
No.
go with like other dishes on the sandwich, you can go like stuffing,
Yeah. See,
turkey,
I'm not. See,
potatoes,
that's my least
gravy,
favorite dish.
stuffing. Oh, I like
I
stuffing.
I'm not a stuffing man. Something just doesn't do it for me.
But we are in agreement that at least on the sandwich, you got to have the turkey, got to have the mashed potatoes, got to have
Yes.
gravy, and you got to have bread. You got to have some
You get
combination of those four.
you need the cranberry though. The
Oh,
cranberry,
I
little
was
little
literally
tart.
just about to say that that is the worst
No,
Thanksgiving dish.
no. You see
Okay,
see
I
the
would get it
tartness.
more if people took more pride in cranberries dishes and like made it themselves. But if you're just going to the store and you're putting a canned thing of cranberry stuff or sauce on a plate and then
Uh-huh.
just serving it, don't give that to me.
So what we do, and I'm pretty sure Abby's family does this too, is you get the canned cranberry right on the side, and then you also make homemade cranberry like
Okay, that's
sauce.
fine. I would
So you have a
accept
combo.
homemade.
So you got both, right? Because usually the homemade is less like tart and like sweet, whereas the canned one is got that like punch to it. Oh,
Okay.
it's the best.
Well, agree to disagree on the cranberry stuff. The fact that you don't like stuffing, it's just bread and vegetables. What's
It just I don't know if it's just like too soggy for me or what. I don't know. It just doesn't taste good to me. I've never liked it.
Crisp up some of those crispy onions and throw those on top.
That's fair. Maybe, maybe.
Add a little
Yams
crunch.
are also good. Sweet
Maybe put
yams.
some like breadcrumbs on it. Add a
Yeah,
little.
what that's it's already bread. It's already breadcrumbs.
Well, yeah. It's Thanksgiving. We're committing to what we're doing over the next week, and it's eating a lot of bread and a lot of turkey and gravy.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're already there. It's in the future.
I don't know. It's just not my favorite dish. It just something about it, man.
All right, you go without your stuffing, and you keep your cranberry sauce over by you, and we'll be happy there.
I bet most people say that the cranberry sauce is like a low key solid dish, especially the canned one.
I was literally about to say that most people are going to agree with me.
No,
You think people are passing on bread and vegetables versus something out of a
no,
can?
I didn't say it was better than stuffing or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a low key solid thing to have for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but when it's low key at like the best meal of the year, it means it's trash.
No, no, it doesn't. But all right, how many people are having cranberry sauce throughout the year? You're probably having it once, maybe twice. You know, obviously you're having it at Thanksgiving, and then you're maybe having it at Christmas, depending on how your family does Christmas dinners and stuff like that. So it's like it's that thing that is just everybody eats kind of thing, and you always have it.
My opinion would be if you're the shortest person on the short bus, it does not matter how tall everyone else is, you're still the shortest person on the short bus. So if it's low key, it's not good. Everything else is so great. If it's the one that's
Yeah,
just like, it's low key, okay. No, then it's not good.
I didn't say okay. I said low key good. Like
Yeah,
people are like, oh yeah,
I
like they
can't say
sleep on it.
anything nice about cranberry sauce.
Uh, Whatever. Maybe I'm in the minority. I don't care. It's delicious,
I'm eating my cranberry sauce like a man.
especially on leftovers. You know, for your Thanksgiving sandwiches the day after, days after. It just makes a sandwich.
Okay, that's fair. Well, it is now a big time of year for movies. We get our three big polls. Well, I guess it's more like four, and it's pretty much seasonal. We get our Thanksgiving movies, where they all come around this week because people go to the movies
Yeah.
with their families. We'll get another batch at Christmas. We'll get another batch in spring, and then obviously we get our big summer blockbusters. But
Yep.
had a few movies come out this past week, so we'll talk about them first before we get into some upcoming movies. The biggest flop, probably maybe of the year, Red One, with The Rock and Chris Evans.
Yeah.
A nice departure of Chris Evans being your typical "I am America" and can't do wrong. So he's kind of got some witty banter in this. But from what I've heard, that is about all that is good with this movie. I don't know if you've heard too much about it, AJ.
Yeah. Other than what we've seen, from news wise and stuff like that, how it's gonna be a flop. It looks like, and the opening weekend was made only like a few million, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's doesn't seem like it's a great movie. I actually wanted to see this when I first saw the trailer.
I did
I was like,
too. It
this
looked
actually
decent.
kind of looks kind of looks cool, right? But I don't know. I mean, from everything that we're hearing, right, it's a terrible movie. The CGI isn't great. The storyline isn't great either, and all that stuff. Uh, I, I don't know what to say. Like maybe this movie's just coming out too early, where it's not it's still Thanksgiving time, right? So some people
Well,
are like
yeah.
staunch like, I'm not gonna do anything Christmas until after Thanksgiving. So maybe it just came out 2 weeks earlier than what it should have, and they should have had it come out before or after Thanksgiving, kind of thing. Maybe
Maybe
that's it. I don't know. When you
I
have
got two big reasons why this one
okay,
failed, and I do got to give credit to someone out there who probably will never ever see this, but we're gonna do it anyways. I watch YouTube video. Jeremy Jans, he does movie reviews. He's funny. If
hmm
anyone sees him, you should watch him. Um, but one of the things he pointed out, this is a $250 million budget film. That's $250 million. That puts this on par with big blockbuster MCU
yeah,
movies in terms of budget. For perspective, a Hollywood classic in itself, Elf, $33 million budget.
Yeah. Well,
It was
solid.
doomed from the start. You're when you make a $250 million Christmas movie, you're basically trying to make the biggest Christmas movie of all
I,
time.
so my question to you now is, what the hell did they spend $250 million on in that
Oh,
movie?
have you not heard of some
No,
actors'
enlighten me.
terrible said behavior on set with showing up
Oh,
6 to 8 hours late? That doesn't sound like it's a lot of money, but you have to understand that all these things are scheduled out. They have all these
yeah,
casts and crews hired. Most of these casts and crews aren't actually they're not W-2 employees. So for people who don't know made that, there's not an overarching company that is saying you need to be here, we're going to fire or quit you. They're usually contract employers. They're getting hired out for the week. So when anything gets delayed, they then need to be hired for another week, and everything costs more and more money the more you delay it out. And for people who don't know this, The Rock is getting a terrible reputation in Hollywood for basically
had it
just
for a while.
deciding to show up to set whenever he feels like showing up to set.
Yeah, he's had it for a while, which is it's kind of surprising
And he's
that
still
he
getting these
is.
big movie roles, and that's his
Yeah,
reputation.
yeah, and is kind of seems like a diva with all this stuff. It's pretty surprising to me that yeah, like he gets these big blockbuster movies. What's his last movie that he's been in that's done well at the box office?
Outside of the Fast and Furious movies,
Yeah.
I can't really. I mean, he's done some start with Kevin stuff with Kevin Hart, but I wouldn't classify those as like big blockbuster movies. They were like action comedy movies, so there was like a budget, but they weren't.
Yeah.
Oh, the Black Adam movie.
Yeah, but that didn't
I'm not
do.
calling it a success, but that would be his last like big budget
I'd say
one.
that I don't think that made back its budget.
No, it didn't.
So it
He's not
I
on a
just
Jumanji was probably his last big success, the Jumanji movies.
with the first one.
I thought they both were
Honest,
pretty good, but they weren't like amazing movies. They're just like fun
yeah.
watches.
I, maybe you should just stick to like that kid like the kids young teens type movie then, because this movie seems like it's gonna be like you said a box office failure, right, and not make back any of its budget.
Well, and general
Which
review is that it feels like it's a superhero movie in the sense that they cram a lot of characters in it to be like funny little cameos here and there, and they're all like CGI characters. So like the Headless Horseman, all these other like fairy tale characters,
oh, okay.
and they're cramming them in there for like cameo purpose, and that's another reason why the budget goes way up. But it's also this is a 2 hour plus movie, which is another thing that if you're not
It's
going
a
to be a
Christmas
good
movie.
movie,
Should be
the
short.
longer you get, it gets harder and harder to watch.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie, right? So it should be like an hour and 30 at most type thing.
Hour 30, Santa's kidnapped. Some other fairy tale being who's trying to prove himself to the other fairy tale characters needs help saving him, and they save him. Boom, done.
It's like this. I feel like this is the plot of the Santa Claus like 3, right? Where they had what was it?
Oh, Jack Frost takes
Yeah,
over? I remember
yeah,
this one. And they
and
have
they
to like
have
band together with like the Tooth Fairy and stuff.
yeah, and they have the cameos of the Easter Bunny and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
pretty much stole the plot of that.
And this is
Just
basically the more expensive version where The Rock ruins it. So if you
yeah,
guys want to see this one, don't watch it. Go watch Santa Claus 3. That's our recommendation.
yeah.
Besides that, well, let's talk about the good. Wicked. I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to see it. I know everyone's going crazy about it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little disappointed that I heard it's a part one and part two. Wasn't fully advertised like that. I'm a little sad,
it
but
wasn't. It wasn't.
I
So
know that that's how the play goes, so it's not
yes.
unnerving.
So I would highly recommend watching the play. The play is amazing. I don't know if they have like off Broadway in Denver
I've seen it 3 times in
of
London,
Wicked.
so I'm
Oh, you
good to
have? All
go.
right, all right, all right. Yeah, so I've seen it twice in New York. Abby's seen it like 3 or 4 times. I don't know how many times she's seen it, but a lot more than me. She saw the movie the other day. My sister and my niece went to go see it, and they loved it. Yeah, I was surprised too when I heard that it was a two-parter. especially because if people that have seen the play, like they know where it ends, kind of thing, and it pretty much ends like slightly after that. Like I don't want to give away spoilers to people. Like
But
it pretty much ends
it's staying true to
where
the source material.
yes, it pretty much, from what I've been told, it pretty much ends to where the play kind of ends, slightly a little bit before that type thing.
Okay.
Again, I'm probably doing a terrible job of explaining this, but I don't want to give it away. And so a lot of the next movie, I think they're gonna add a lot of stuff and kind of connect the worlds of like Dorothy and right, Dorothy? Yeah.
Are we making like an
Um,
expanded universe out of this?
I think they're kind of adding more to like that side
Or when
of
you
the
say
play
add, do you
and
mean
story.
like make previous stuff part of its world or set up future things to be added?
I'd say it's probably expand on previous stuff.
Okay. I'm
Again, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm not sure entirely of everything, but yeah, I mean from everything, it sounds like it's an awesome movie, especially if you love musical movies, which some I feel like can be hit or miss, to me. But everything sounds like it's a great movie, and you should definitely go see it if you can this weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. Definitely sounds better than Cats, so it's got something going for it. Uh
Talk
next
about a movie that
oh,
is awful. You ever
are
see
you talking about
Cats?
Cats?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no desire to see everyone look like a cat. Well, if you're gonna make them look like a cat, just make them look like a cat. That would have been better.
Ha-
This, I feel like this got caught up in like the whole live action craze, where it's like this is like one of those things where just like this is totally better animated or in an actual play. Don't
yeah.
let me see that.
Just just combine humanoid cats and go from there and think it's gonna be an amazing CGI movie.
I would have been fine with an animated movie with them as actual cats singing and dancing. That probably would have worked.
Yeah, 100%. Like just do like the old school like Disney type,
But just
where
so many people are afraid of animation, and sometimes you just got to look at them and be like, "This story will be
it'll work
better
out.
told with
Yeah,
animation. I promise you."
yeah. It just terrible movie. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we got one movie that we're going to talk about that we're excited about, but before we get that, we'll talk about one that's probably going to be bad. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but
Hmm.
Craven the Hunter. We are expecting it. Sounds like it's going to be a flop as well. It is currently being projected to make the least amount of money out of any of the Sony Spider-Man spin-off movies, which puts it behind Madam Web and Morbius,
It's
which
wild.
is not a great start to already being compared to those. But it's also like I don't know what's when Sony is gonna learn. Yes,
They will
Venom.
never.
The Venom movies have done okay, but Venom is also developed into his own character in the comics, so there is an actual fan base there outside of just Spider-Man fans. Whereas I feel most people aren't interested in these Spider-Man villains because Spider-Man's not in the movie, and they aren't their own characters outside of being Spider-Man bad guys.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue, right? Is they try to get the big name actors, actresses in these movies, which Dakota Johnson, right?
Oh, you're talking about
She's
Madam Web? They had everyone in that
well,
one.
well, but I'm saying yeah, but I'm saying as your lead actress, right? Having her in it, I don't know if she commands like that type of audience. Like I can see Aaron Tyler Johnson kind of commanding a little bit more of an audience because he's a little bit more well known,
I think he's gonna
right,
be fine.
actor
I think it's
wise.
gonna be like Tom Hardy and Venom. Like them alone are gonna be fine,
Yeah,
but it's not gonna be a great movie.
but like Jared Leto and I'm going off a little bit, right? Like Jared Leto, I don't think was he was like a controversial actor. Like I don't think he was a big as big of a well known actor. Well, I mean, I guess didn't he won an Oscar, but
He had stuff dramatically,
regardless,
but he tried to step into the superhero realm and flopped with Morbius and Joker.
yeah. So like that's the thing is I think Sony is trying to get the big well known actors and then create that Spider-Man universe like you kind of said about their villains and all that stuff and it's just not hitting because Spider-Man's not in it. You're gonna get the nerdy comic book guys like us, fans that'll go and see it, if we do see it. I feel like I'm gonna see this because I thought the trailer looked good. Even if it is, terrible, I'll probably still just go see it to see it.
I'm gonna wait till it's
Um,
streaming.
oh, I mean, I say I'm gonna see it, but most likely I probably won't until it streams. But um, yeah, I mean, I totally forgot about this movie until you brought it up. I didn't even realize that it was gonna drop in December.
2 weeks.
I literally trailer came out what, like a year ago,
About this time last year, yeah.
right? And I feel like it's been radio silent since that trailer came out, kind of thing. Other than some like reshoots that I've heard about and stuff like
I
that, but
haven't
that's
heard too
that's
much.
about
Oh,
it.
you just reminded me of bad news that I heard today.
What?
They're scheduling more reshoots for Brave New World Captain America 4,
Oh, really?
which makes me nervous because it's supposed to come out in like 3 months.
Eh, I mean, I guess it depends on what it is, right? If it's like major scenes or something like that, then yeah, that's concerning. But like if it's just minor things, post credit scene type crap, then who cares?
I hope stuff. I want this one to be good. I want us to move on into a new era.
I agree. I think Deadpool and Wolverine kind of set up that, the new era type thing well. Sounds like Fantastic Four is going to be pretty awesome, from early reviews I think that I've seen. So I'm excited to where they're leading to. Craven, we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens. I was hoping that this would be a good movie, but that is terrifying that
I don't
it's
think it
not going to
is.
be
And
apparently.
the main thing that turns me off is when you look at the trailer, it looks like they're gonna kind of give him like some type of like Spider-Man animal
Yeah,
powers,
Ted Power.
and I'm not particularly thrilled about that
Yeah,
concept. He's just supposed to be a hunter. He's just supposed to be good at what he does, but
yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But the one thing I'm excited for, the How to Train Your Dragon live action trailer just dropped. This was one that I was originally, when I heard about it, I was like, man, I don't know if this is
Why?
gonna look good in live
Hmm.
action. Like, they're giant dragons, they're all over the place. But then I saw the trailer, and
Trailer looked good.
the one thing I will say, I first thing that popped in my mind is when the first Sonic trailer dropped and everyone saw Sonic's face and was like, "What the heck is that?" This had the opposite
Hmm.
reaction. They basically just made it look exactly the same as the animated
Yeah,
version. So maybe they've learned, like, okay, just give them exactly what they want. And Toothless looks exactly the same, which I'm kind of happy about. I'm
100%.
happy about the cast. Not
Hmm.
too much is in it, but the one role that I'm happy is being reprised is Clive Owen, who voices the dad in the animated version,
No,
is
is it?
coming back, and he's going to play the dad in the live action. So
I thought it
happy
was
about that.
Gerard Butler.
Oh, it is Gerard Butler. I wrote down Clive Owen. God damn, I mixed up British people. Don't get mad.
It just really confused you a second there. I was like, I'm pretty sure
Yes,
it's
it
going to
is.
Gerard
It is
Butler.
Gerard Butler, not Clive Owen. Oh, that was a big mistake. But I'll take that one on the chin. The next is Mason Thames, who's playing the lead. I don't know if you might have seen him. There was the Black Phone movie. He plays the kid who gets
Yeah, I've seen it.
kidnapped. It's kind of a creepy,
Is that the movie with Ethan Hawke?
yeah, and he's the serial
Okay,
killer.
okay. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so Mason Thames plays the kid who gets trapped in the basement of that movie. But
Yeah, yeah.
recently, he was in an young adult coming of age story on Netflix called Incoming. Pretty funny. I
Okay,
enjoyed it. Wasn't
okay.
bad. I'm looking forward to it. I think this one could be good, and I think it has enough hype around it to I think it's going to succeed.
Yeah, from what I read, I think it was the creator slash director, right? So I think it was the director that wrote How to Train Your Dragon. He said it's not going to be a one for one like shot remake type thing. So I'm assuming they're going to add some other stuff to the movie, like some more plot or backstory or whatever. But I thought the trailer was awesome. I did like how it was kind of not a one for one shot of like the original trailer, but some of the scenes of where he meets Toothless, right? I thought it was really cool how it's pretty much dead on the same,
Yep.
which that's like in the original, it's an awesome scene. So like I feel like it's kind of cool that they kind of paid homage right there to like It's like a perfect scene. Like we're not gonna mess with it. We're gonna try to do it, shot for shot for that. I like that.
Still to get to see some of the things that'll be really important in the movie. I think most of the shots we saw in the trailer had like one or two dragons.
Yeah,
There will be a moment where there's about 200 of them. So obviously
yeah,
that's some big expectations, some huge CGI budgets that we'll see how that plays
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. I think
Um,
it'll be interesting, right, when they do, some like you said, like the big shots of the dragons, like how that holds up with CGI, and like if they'll be, because I thought Toothless kind of looked not real, but like he looked more real than like some of the other CGI that they could have, that like other CGI that you see sometimes in movies.
I'd
Like
compare it to the CGI that you saw in like Detective Pikachu.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Designs look the same, but they made them
yeah,
look real world style. But they
yeah,
looked exactly the same.
yeah. So I like that, right? So it'll be interesting though to see, like I said, like when you see some more of the dragons, some more of the, when you see hundreds of them, right? How it's gonna look, in the movie, if it's gonna look stupid, where it's a really terrible like type CGI, or if it'll be, kind of that realistic um, type that we saw with Toothless. So
We shall see. It'll be good. That's pretty much all we have for you guys. I mean, I would say, what are you looking forward to this week? But it's turkey time. Turkey time for the next couple days. Football.
yep, yeah,
Anything else?
football, turkey time, and hockey for me. So nothing too
And
crazy.
we try to stay politically correct around here. I like to now refer to it just as Turkey Day, not Thanksgiving.
Why is that?
That's just Thanksgiving just has so many negative connotations with it. Just Turkey Day. What do we do on this day?
Interesting.
We eat turkey.
Give thanks. Thanks
We
for
give
family
thanks.
and friends.
That's fair. Okay, okay. We'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right. Well, that's all we got. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Okay, cool. And we kept it